Drew here with you. Thank you for watching this video. What I'm doing in this video is continuing our dialogue about the foundations. Hopefully you saw the video on this YouTube channel where I was mentioning how the foundations affect our ability to handle Lyme disease if we get it. Over on my Instagram channel, I did a video on each one of the foundations just so we can have a better understanding of them as individuals. Hopefully you've seen that content. If you haven't, I strongly encourage you to watch it. In this video, what I want to do is talk to you about what we lovingly refer to as the foundation of all foundations, and that is digestion. What I've done is some research, finding studies that connect the pH of our digestive tract, that's the acid-alkaline balance within it, the villi, the little hair-like structures, I'll talk about those more, don't worry, and the good bacteria inside of our digestive tract and how they influence the health and the function of these 5 areas listed here. So let's get into it. First area is hormones. How does digestion, or a lack of optimal digestion, affect hormones? Well, there are certain hormones that when they are added to certain proteins, they actually make new or different hormones. Now there's just one step that I left out of this equation because that's a very simple equation. Hormones plus certain proteins, new hormones. Got it. Except it has to be fully digested proteins. The proteins have to be broken down to such a small level that they can actually fit into and hook up with the hormones to make these new hormones. An example of this is follicle stimulating hormone. It's a hormone that has a lot to do with how much hair we keep on the top of our head. And this is something that affects both men and women. So when we're talking about this hormonal health, we got to keep in mind that for certain hormones, like FSH, we have to have optimal digestion in order to even have a shot at balancing and creating those optimal hormone levels. The next area that I want to talk about digestion's relationship with is the immune system. Now we know that about 90% of our immune system lives within our digestive tract. That's good bacteria. That's right, not all bacteria is bad for you. There's a growing body of research that's showing us that the quantity of the good bacteria and the variety of that bacteria play a huge role in our body's ability to handle all types of immune challenges. This means fungus, parasites, viruses, and bad bacteria. Our digestive tract, in order to have the good bacteria in adequate quantity and variety, needs to be taken care of. I'm about to talk to you about something called villi, and I'm going to fold in this concept while I talk about villi. Let me show you. Pretend that's the wall of your intestines, and I know that's like a gross misrepresentation of it, but go with me for the example. There are these little hair-like structures that stand up off of there. And those structures do a couple of very important things, like they keep toxins afloat. So as a toxin goes through your digestive tract, it never actually gets to touch your intestinal wall because these villi will hold it up. The only time that a toxin is actually dangerous to have in your intestinal tract is if it actually makes contact with the intestinal wall. For bacteria to really thrive, they need this little safe space. And one of the places they can find a safe space is in between fully matured villi. So while this young, fresh bacteria grows up and becomes more potent, it has this safe space to do so until it reaches maturity. And then it can help the body with breaking down foods, the immune system activity, etc. Now this picture folds quite nicely into the next topic, which is cardiovascular health. There was a study conducted, and what they found is that certain toxins actually have a direct and negative impact on heart health and heart performance. What they also found in this study is The people least affected by the toxins were also the people who had the best markers for gut health and gut performance. They had good stomach acid. They had lots of good bacteria. They had good motility, or the flexing of the muscles in the digestive tract to keep everything moving through it. Without those good villi from a well-maintained gut, the heart is now at risk to have to deal with those toxins. As soon as a toxin touches the wall of the intestines, it has the potential to get into the bloodstream and travel to the heart. Now I'm going to keep this drawing up here, not because I think it's a work of art, but because it's going to help me talk about detox, which is the next thing we need to talk about here. I mentioned before, it's no big deal to have toxins inside of your digestive tract so long as they keep on moving. Now here's one thing that can really gunk that up. These villi that like to float toxins and keep them from touching the wall, they can get gunked up from undigested foods. Proteins, fats, carbohydrates, any of them, animal source, plant source, all of them, have the potential, if poorly digested, to start to gunk up these villi. What happens when you gunk up a villi? It's a little bit choked, and it can actually die from that. Or sometimes it just gets weaker and it gets shorter, and sometimes it's just left laying down. It's not really standing up. And now these toxins have these new opportunities to find their way into your bloodstream. So our body's ability to detoxify, or to remove something that would do us harm, can be compromised if undigested food from a poorly functioning digestive tract gunks up those villi and doesn't keep the toxins floating so they can go right through the body. And last but not least, your nervous system. Man, this one is underreported. This is a huge deal. So, a lot of people out there dealing with different mood-related things. Mood swings, depression, anxiety, other mental or brain performance issues like trouble concentrating or trouble with memory. There's this wonderful book that was written. It's called GAPS. It stands for Gut and Psychology Syndrome. It was written by Natasha McCampbell McBride. Totally brilliant person. Her research led her to find that the gut performance was a direct indicator of brain performance. Again and again, with these people she worked with, when they had anxiety or when they had depression, they also had a poorly performing gut. When they were forgetful or had trouble recalling details, they also had a poorly performing gut. So the most important part of your nervous system is your brain, because it is the control center of the rest of your nervous system. So for the sake of the control center, we want to make sure that we're optimizing digestion, since we see that connection between the way your gut performs and the potential of your brain to perform. So to wrap all this up, every foundation is important. But I hope you see now that digestion can influence so many different areas, from hormones to immune, cardiovascular, detox, and the nervous system. So we want to make sure that we're digesting everything the right way, so that we are supporting all these areas and more. Thank you for watching this. Again, I really, really appreciate it, and you will see me soon. Have a great day.